at the S.T.A.R Center. I'm usually inside the NPOs when y'all are there, but today, because I'm presenting, I was here getting prepared for y'all. So with that said, today we're going to go over time management, okay? We're going to learn how to utilize our time wisely and improve our time management skills for those that already practice good time management. So with that said, can anybody tell me what time management is? Just anything.
It's like managing like your time, like your schedule.
Okay, perfect.
Making time for everything.
Perfect. Guess what? You get a prize.
Ooh.
Sorry, I don't really throw stuff at.
I
I don't want to get near. So, but yes, it is. So time management is finding enough time in your day, you know, to fit out what you must do. Also balancing school, work, and home, and completing tasks at the best you can, not the minimum. You know, not mediocre, but the best you can do. So we all have different lifestyles and schedules. You know, some of us are full-time students only, which those are the good ones because we don't have to go home. We just go to school and we attend at home. There's also people that are full-time students, full-time jobs. You know, some people go part-time, full-time jobs. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And of course, we have single parents. We have people who are married. And so when it comes to having to deal with all that, it kind of puts us all in a bind, you know? And again, everyone has a different schedule. It's like not one of us probably has the same schedule. We can have similar, but it's not going to be the exact same one. So with that said, I'm going to give you some effective time management skills, okay? So the first one is having good time management skills helps you reduce stress. The reason it does is because of the fact that it's less to worry about, right? The less you don't have to worry about it when you're stress-free. Also, too, helps you get things more accomplished. So when you feel accomplished, it gives us the extra boost of energy. It also makes the day run smoothly, and it improves your confidence and reduces the fear of failure. So you know when you make that A on that test, or you finish something really big, like especially that essay that was due like 4 or 5 pages that you worked all this time on. Once you hit submit or you turn it in, doesn't it feel like it's done right, and you feel like you're walking up in air? You know, you're like, yeah, I'm bad, right? Also too, it helps you to, being healthy also helps out as well too, because why? You don't miss work, you don't miss class, you're there all the time, you're able to take care of things. And of course it helps improve the quality of life. With that said, it's just that it just makes life easier, right? When you don't have to stress about things, it makes life easier. Some poor management time skills are, it can cause stress at school. So if you don't have a really good schedule of how to work things out and you're just all over the place, it causes stress at school, home, and at work. And with that said, it's just like you could be at school trying to pay attention and write notes, but you know what? You're stressed out at work, so you're thinking about work. So technically, when you're in school, you're not putting all your 100%. You're not focusing on what you're doing at the moment. Vice versa, you could be at work thinking about school, and when you're at work, you're still not focused. So it affects everywhere that you are a part of when it comes to having stress. Another one, long-term stress leads to health issues. So what happens with that is when you start having health issues, what happens? You have to go to a doctor. You're homesick. So what does that mean? You're missing class, you're missing work, you don't tend to stuff at home. So that can lead up to problems in relationships with your spouse, with your family, with friends. You know, so just not being able to take care of things can cause a lot. I mean, it affects everything. And of course, it can lead to quitting your job or school. But also too, if you go back to up here where it leads to health issues, the more you miss, what might happen too? You get fired, right? Because you're not in work, you're not doing your work or whatever it may be. Also too, if you miss so many school days too, they can kick you out of class. So you have to be smart about that. So when it leads to quitting your job or school, a lot of the times people end up quitting school over their job, because a lot of people, when they go to work, that's their only source of income. So what happens to school? It gets put on the back burner. So that's just something that can happen, you know. And again, what's priority? Making the money, taking care of your household, or school right now? You know, and it's a sad thing, because you make that choice. You have to make that choice. Sometimes it just happens that way. Ways we lose time. the main one you got to remember is lost time is never found, right? There's never going to be yesterday, right? There's never, I mean, we can never make it up. So some ways is we procrastinate. That's like a huge huge issue right there. I procrastinate. I bet everybody in this room procrastinates. If not once or twice, and we probably still do it now. You know what I mean? We can do it later. You know, we can take care of it later. You know, right? Or your friends, they come up to you and say, "Hey, let's go out. Let's go have a burger." You're like, "No, I need to do this. Just do it later." You know, and it's easier to do that. Also, too, we don't make to-do lists, and that's very important. A lot of the times we don't make a to-do list. We're so busy overall that sometimes when we don't write things down, we forget, right? Have you ever had a friend that says, "Oh man, I forgot. I was so busy last night. I forgot to bring you the book I told you I was going to let you borrow," or "I forgot to bring my notes that I said you could borrow for when you miss class." So again, if we don't write it down, it's hard to to remember sometimes. And again, the main thing is we don't prioritize our time. You know, it's like, what is important? What needs to be done right now? And then we don't make time for ourselves. You know, and that's another big issue. You know, we're always on the run. We're always work, doing school. But also, too, you have to make time for yourselves. Reward yourself. You know, that's the main thing. Reward yourself for doing stuff. When you complete a task, you know, take your 5-minute stroll. Go outside. Go get a snack, you know. But again, just 5 minutes. And then get back to studying. Also, some distractions, right? Distractions. Can somebody tell me distractions other than friends?
Your phone.
Phone.
Like family problems.
Family problems, yeah, that's a good one. Anybody else? Also, too, you know, you have your hobbies, having to go to the gym. You know, I mean, and that's good though. But again, it could be also there's a time and place to do it, but also too there is how to do it. But there's also too overdoing it too. Like instead of reading the book, you know, you're over here for 3 hours at the gym when you should have been there maybe 30 minutes to an hour, right? You have to just set your time. So yeah, so those are distractions. And of course, friends, that's the biggest one. They call or text you when you're doing your homework, right? Or they guilt you into saying, "Man, I haven't seen you in a long time. We haven't hung out since you started school," or "We haven't hung out since you started school and work." You know, and they try to guilt you into that. But you always have to remember that the key thing to remember here is school is temporary, right? Because I know you're not going to be here more than 12 semesters, right? It's only a 2-year college. So as soon as you get your degree and you get to your job, then you can start hanging out, right? But this is how you know when who your true friends are as well. You know what I'm saying? But they will try to guilt you into that. And so you have to learn to say no sometimes, you know. Sometimes it's hard, but you have to make that choice. You know, it's like your future and family right now, or do you want to hang out with your friends? And a lot of the times your friends are just temporary, right? So you have to look at that. Another thing too, at work, regardless, you know, work is usually priority. The job still needs to get done regardless if you're at work. Why? Because you're not going to get paid, right? And of course, home. Home is always going to be there too because of the fact that you have to eat, you have to do your chores, you have to take care of kids if you have kids, and of course that's when you do homework, right? And of course, what about school? Again, school gets left on the back burner, right? Because if your job is the only financial aid that you get at that moment, that's your priority, right? And then of course your household, and then school. So school always gets left out. So you always have to make sure that if you're going to work and you have a household and do it all at once, you know, try to have good time management skills because it's possible. It's possible. See, there's that guy trying to do his homework and he's getting bashed by all that. And I know Facebook is probably not as popular anymore, but it's in there. So here's some ways and tips of how to get ahead, okay? Realize what causes you to lose time, okay? Where do you find yourself losing time, okay? So for one, if you realize that you get bored very easy, especially when you need to look at your schedule, like when do I have the most energy, right? Am I a morning person? Am I an afternoon? Am I a night person? Okay. Also, to tackle that task. So, for example, if, like, say you're not a really good in math, you struggle in math, okay? And so you know you're going to be stressed out because you have to do that homework. So if you're a morning person, get up that first thing in that morning and start doing your math. Get out of the way. You know, once it's done, you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's done. You know what I mean? Also, too, a lot of the people always mention as well is a good tip is as soon as you get out of that math class, you know, start studying. I know it sounds corny, but, you know, you just got out of the math class, and why would you want to study right after math class during that day especially? Why would you want to do that?
So you don't forget.
Exactly, right? So tomorrow, if I get to my math studies tomorrow, I might not remember what the professor just said because, first of all, I already have a mind block in my head because of the fact that I don't like math class. You know, so you already have that block there, and so that doesn't help much, right? So with that said, you know, find a time that your energy is at that high level and get that stuff done. You know, just get it done, get out of the way. Again, eliminate daily distractions. Like when you're started work, doing your homework, or you're at work, put that phone away. You know, put that phone away. And I know it's with that cell phone, it's just you put it in your pocket. Of course, technology, it comes on your watch, it comes on your computer. I mean, you have it all, you know, it's all tapped into each other. You know, say you get your email on your watch and you're like, oh man, I forgot. Supposed to meet my friends for that cookout, but I have this English paper here. You know, no, you know, sometimes you have to say no. Also start making a to-do list. You know, check off what you completed. You know, sometimes when you see a list and you start marking off, it makes you feel good because like, wow, look at all the stuff that I've done today. So that's another important thing. And then use a planner or calendar to keep track of assignments. An important thing to do that is just that you can do is, again, is prioritize what's most important. And if you notice that, that's the key word right there is prioritize. What is the most important task that needs to be done today or this week or however you keep your schedule, okay? So here's a sample of a to-do list. Like I said, to-do list, you can mark it off as you go. So for example, if I had a to-do list for this week, this is what mine would, I mean, this is just a sample, but this is what it would look like. So English homework due Friday, okay? Study for Spanish exam test tomorrow. Pick up kids from school at 3:45. Pay cell phone bill by October 4th, and of course stop by the grocery store. So this is a sample of what you can do for a to-do list, okay? Writing stuff down helps everyone out because you don't forget, right? You don't forget. You always have that friend like, man, I forgot that I was supposed to meet you at this, you know? So that's where it starts happening, you know? And again, you can do your to-do list by days, by weeks, by semesters. It just depends. It just depends, okay? And also, does anybody have a calendar or planner? Y'all do? Okay. So here's some samples of a calendar or planner that you can do. So first of all, if you want a planner, we have these available. These here. You can come by the S.T.A.R Center office, see Miss Alma for it, or one of your advisors. Also, too, you can see me after the workshop as well. We can get you one. But also, too, if you don't want to have that, you can always print one out that looks similar to this. And you can put it in your notebook or your folder for each class. Or not each class, but your classes. So that first day of school, when you get your class, that you get that lovely syllabus, scan it. You know, don't just put it aside. You know, use it, scan it through it. And like, oh look, there's a big paper due on this day. There's a big paper due over here. There's a project due here. Write it down on your calendar. Put it on the front of your binder. You know, and then also too, add in there like any work things, any personal, like if you have weddings, birthday parties, any big occasions. So then, for example, if you have a big English paper that's due, say April 25th, but yet your sister's getting married on Saturday the 27th, you know how to prepare ahead and know that, you know what, that week I'm going to have to tweak it a certain way for it to, you know, for it to work out, right? Because usually when you're part of a wedding, especially if it's a sibling, you're probably going to be very involved with that. So you're going to be very, very busy. But again, that paper is also very important too, right? So with that said, it's good to have this in front of your notebook. And that way you can see, you know, you can see it, you can check it out. We have our printers upstairs. You can always print out. If you want to print one in color, by all means, do it. Like I said, come find me. I can help you do it. Also, too, there's a lot of apps on your phone. So if you're that technical person, that technology person that has a cell phone that you want everything on your cell phone, that's cool, too. So there's a lot of different apps you can use on your phone. And, of course, your laptop desktop comes with a calendar, too. And you can also color code them. You know, color code them by importance. but highlight however you want to color code it, to tailor it to you. Also too, again, prioritize. Most important task goes in order from highest priority to the least. So the most important to the stuff that it can wait, right? So for example, if you have, if you're doing your daily, your to-do list for today, like say you did it last night today, don't schedule that you're going to start working on your English paper at 9 o'clock when it's due at 11:59. Again, it's sloppy. It's going to be sloppy, and you're trying to just push it in. If you already know that the English paper was due like 3 weeks ago, why not do it in sections? Give yourself like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Use that time. Walking from one class to another, get note cards. Study while you're walking to class. 10 minutes is better than no minutes, right? Also too, when you're, if you ride a bus, get those note cards out, get that folder out. You don't always have to pull out your book. Make your notes. The more you rewrite it, the more you're going to retain it, right? And also too, try to make yourself a body in a routine. Put yourself in a routine. Don't study on a couch or a bed, because why? Your body's going to be what? Comfortable, right? So every time that you pick up a book and you're in the bed, you're going to be comfortable. So a lot of the information is not going to be retained up here. It's better to study at a table in here in the library where it's quiet, so less distractions. And again, make sure your to-do list accommodates your life, not mine, not your sisters, brothers, anybody. It has to tailor you to you, So the only way it's going to work is if it's tailored to you, He said, I can give you a schedule, but I don't know. I can't fix it for you. You have to do it, right? And so if it works out, evaluate it for a week and see how it works, okay? And then if it does work out, schedule it 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead if you want to do a semester. But if it doesn't work out for you, try a different approach. Make adjustments until it best fits you, okay? And again, remember, you can do it. You can do it. We all have the same hours in the day. We all have 24 hours, all of us. So, and again, use your time wisely, and remember that time is precious, so waste it wisely. And I'm leaving you with this quote right here, is the bad news is time flies. The good news is you're the pilot, so you're in control, okay? And that's all I have.